No, little pups don't get this. Pretty good though. All right, this is Wes again with Fox Outdoor Sports, and we're back with the results from the little accuracy review test between a standard plain, almost run-of-the-mill polymer Ruger American Predator stock. It's it's the Go Wild, but the only difference in it and the regular ones between that and any of the Americans is the color. And the Magpul Hunter stock that came on the new rifle that I bought, that I swapped the stock out and put on the Go Wild to give to my son. And if the truth be told, I think you can see an accuracy difference in them. We'll kind of go through these a little bit, but this is just a rough estimate of the groups. But today wasn't necessarily one of my best shooting days, and I'm still working on a load for two of them. The one, I think I have it sorted out, and this was the wind. The wind was about 15, almost 20 miles an hour by the time I got to this point today. So anyway, this side are the groups that I shot with the rifle and the hunter in the Magpul Hunter stock. This is 90 grain TNT, Spear TNT, 123 grain Hornady interlock, and 143 grain Hornady ELDX. I normally have been using the 129 grain interlocks for hunting, but this new rifle doesn't seem to want the 129 grain bullets. I'm having a hard time figuring out how to make them shoot. But especially in the Magpul, these are all 5-shot groups. And even with the outlier here, I mean, we're looking at roughly 5/8 of an inch at 100 yards in the Magpul stock. And I can almost get my rifle to do this in the stock in the Predator stock, the American stock. But like I said, today wasn't one of my best shooting days. The other thing is I've pretty much gone to shooting 5-shot groups. I used to only shoot 3-shot groups, but as I've gotten older and older, which I'm not old, but I'm older, my eyes don't work as good. I'm not as good at shooting off the sandbags as I used to be. So I use 5-shot groups, and then I throw out the 2 outliers, because for me there's always gonna be one. So if you consider consistency between groups, and this is the difference between here and here is just the difference between 143 grain and 129 grain bullet. They're not gonna impact the same. But this isn't too bad. I'm gonna call that the outlier, and we're looking at just 1 1/8 inches at 100 yards. Throw out that one, and we've got about 3/4 of an inch. But if you put the rifle into the stock that Ruger sends with it, I'm not even going to measure that one, because I'll go ahead and measure it. You're looking at 1 3/8 inches. Now I'll give you this: the 90 grain TNTs and the 6.5 Creedmoor. The only reason I keep shooting them is because I got a bunch of them that I bought for shooting coyotes, and they're good for shooting coyotes, but they just don't work that well in the Creedmoor. You can't get them. Milo, quit. You're wiggling the camera, boy. Here, get away from the camera. Okay. Sorry. Milo was chewing his toy up against the camera and moving it. But the 90 grainers just don't work that good in the Creedmoor. They're too inconsistent. You'll think you've got a good load going and shoot 3 good shots, and then through the next 3 will be all over the place. And it's basically it's because the bullets are too short, and you have to leave them so far up in the neck that you can't get a good proper neck tension on them. I might try crimping them a little bit, and maybe that might help, but never crimp bullets for a bolt action rifle, and I hate to start. So this is the 129 grain interlocks. There's 4 shots here, and they are roughly 3/4 of an inch to 7/8. So, you know, for a hunting round, I don't shoot precision rifles. I don't shoot long distances. I shoot animals that are inside of 300 yards. And honestly, any of these will work on an animal inside 300 yards if you're talking deer-sized things. I don't shoot prairie dogs with this rifle. It's a lot cheaper to shoot a 223 or a 17 HMR at prairie dogs. But if I see if it's deer season, if I see a deer, between, out to 300 yards, then I want to know that when I put the crosshairs, in his vitals, that's where my bullet's going to go. And basically, you've got an area on a deer a little larger than this, so any of these would work for hunting, except for the TNTs. You don't want to hunt deer with a TNT. But even with that outlier, we're still looking at 1.5 inches, and that's really pretty bad. And that's me. That is me. There's something inconsistent there. And this, if you think about it, we've got the same outlier up here, and it could be a number of things. It could have been me not being able to get a good cheek weld, because that's one of the bad things about those rigger stocks is they don't have a high enough comb, and it's not that easy to get a cheek riser on it, and this and that and the other. Ruger really needs to do something about the comb on those stocks, because it's horrible. But you're looking at 1.5 inches, probably about the same, close to it. So, if you take these 4, throw out the outlier again, look how much better this is compared to that. It's really hard to, even with the bad comb height and all that, it's really hard to discount the fact that this rifle is a lot more accurate with the Magpul stock. This one, this is actually match hunting ammo. So we're looking at about 3/4 of an inch. Throw the outlier out of there, and we're looking at less than a half. We're looking at basically like 0.3 MOA in 4 shots. On this one, I'll be honest with you, I don't know what to tell you. I would think that based on the location of these would be the 2 that I would go with, and these would be the outliers. But what I'm going to have to do is call this one the outlier and go inch and a quarter. And with basically a match hunting bullet, that's not accurate enough for a match hunting bullet. Once again, I think it's the stock. I really think that Magpul stock adds that much more accuracy to not an inherently accurate rifle and caliber, but changing it out from a stock that devalues the accuracy of that caliber. Of course, it makes it inexpensive to buy compared to others, but not by the time you buy a $300 stock. Honestly, if I could go back and do it all over again, I'd probably buy a Tikka. I think it's the CTR or something. It's got the big bolt handle. It's got a 20-inch barrel on it. It's already got a riser, cheek riser on the stock, on the comb. instead of having to figure out how to put one on there. So I really, oh, and this was me pulling one. This is actually 3 shots. I pulled the heck out of that one, and it was about 20 degrees outside, and the wind was blowing about 15 miles an hour, and I was cold. So that is totally me. That is not the rifle. But then I put the rifle back in. I put my son's rifle back into the Magpul stock that came with my rifle, that I gave him my old one with the Magpul stock. And this is 5 shots at 100 yards with the 129 grain interlock. You know, just to re-zero it. Let me kind of aim that down a little bit. There we go. Just to kind of re-zero it. I started with the 90 grainers because right now he's hunting coyotes and want to make sure that they're there. The nice thing about these two, he uses 2 bullets in his rifle, and I do the reloading for him, but the nice thing about his is I've got the load figured out for that rifle to where it's basically the same point of impact at 100 yards, no matter if you're using the 90 grain TNTs or the 129 grain Hornady interlocks. This was 3 siders because after I took it out of stock and put it back in, I want to double check it for him. So this was the first 3 shots. I moved it 4 clicks left, took 2 shots. Basically, I mean, it's a tad bit low at 100 yards, but out to 200 yards, he's going to be fine. This is the 129 grain interlocks. Oh, you're looking at just those 2 shots, ½ inch. 129 grain interlocks, 1 inch, and that's a 5 shot. That's a 5 shot group because there's actually 2 holes. Right. No, I just shot 4. I just shot 4 because that's how many was in. There's 5 rounds in a row, but one of them was an empty case, so I just shot 4. So his rows come out even. But he's like me. He doesn't shoot 1,000-yard matches or anything like that. He mostly hunts coyotes with it. I think he's going to hunt his deer with it this year, but either way, the rifle is sighted in, and this is a pretty good accurate hunting load with TNTs and with the 129 grain interlocks. It's got a 22-inch barrel on it. My rifle that I bought only has an 18-inch barrel on it, and I think I'm getting into stabilization issues with the 90 grainers and the 129s as well. The 143 grain ELDXs have a much longer bearing surface, and I think that's why that it likes the 149 grainers better, or 143 grain bullets better. But I mean, I don't know. It could be a number of different things. But the fact of the matter is, even the 129 grain bullets, if I can't get them to shoot any better than that, that's still going to kill a deer out to 200 yards. I'd like for it to shoot better because it's a Creedmoor and they're renowned for their long range accuracy, so you'd think they would be better at a short range too. But that 18-inch barrel just doesn't seem to like, the lighter bullets. But it could be a number of things, and I'll keep playing with it. I think we've got the 143 grain figured out, but those bullets are a lot more expensive than the 129 grain interlocks, and those interlocks are deer killing bullets. So I don't know yet what I'm going to do. It's winter time and deer season's over, and we're still shooting a few coyotes, but that'll be over before long as well. So we'll just have to wait and see what summer brings, and I may start working on some loads for those other ones this summer and whatnot. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it maybe sheds some light on something if you're thinking about a Magpul hunter. I don't know if this review will do you any good of it or anything like in regard to your decision. And if it helps you, good. If it doesn't, well, I guess that's how that goes too. But I'm probably going to be ordering another Magpul hunter stock and putting my rifle in one. May work for you, it may not. Every rifle's different. I hate the idea of buying a $300 stock for a $400 rifle. Actually, this one was more than that, but you understand what I'm getting at. I understand that the price point Ruger is trying to make these rifles available at, but I would think it wouldn't be that hard to put a little bit higher comb on that stock. The Tikka has a higher comb on it. It's polymer stock. There's just a number of things that could be done, and I understand the reason for it to get the price point down, but at the same time, it needs to be a little bit more friendly to scope height than cheek weld, and the Hunter certainly is, although it's about 2 pounds heavier. So looks like I'm going to be carrying a heavy rifle. Well, anyways, if y'all like these reviews and how-to videos and whatnot, go ahead and click like and subscribe, and in the meantime, y'all be good.